Welcome, folks, to Drone Therapy, Season 3, Episode 20, The Downward Spiral of Toy Drones. We were hoping to have Bryan from True Drone Reviews with us tonight, but I don't know if there's some miscommunication or something as of today, because I haven't heard back from him since I sent the link. So maybe he'll join us later, hopefully. If not, we'll still talk about toy drones and stuff. So, with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to my co-host to introduce himself, Nemo.
Good evening, everyone. I am Nemo. I am here as a drone pilot, and I'm curious to see what we're going to talk about tonight, the downward spiral of toy drones. I'm interested. I'm psyched to get started talking, so let's go over to John Cuppi and see what he has to say.
Thanks, Nemo. Thanks, Bill. It's always great to be on with you guys. Happy to talk about this subject. I've flown a lot of toy drones. I've actually gotten to see how this market's gone. I do hope Bryan will come around because he's probably flown way more toy drones than I have. So it's definitely an interesting topic, what's going on here. I hope, that the chat will really get fired up about this one too. So with that being said, I guess I'll throw it over to Bill and we'll do what we're going to do.
Thank you very much. As everyone here knows, everyone in the chat knows, today is September 11th. And in remembrance of everything that happened and the lives that were lost, for a few minutes, let's just have a moment of silence and remember those people starting now. Oh, okay. Okay, so we were talking about the downward spiral of toy drones, and like John alluded to, we were really hoping to get Bryan in here. I haven't heard anything. I'm still hoping to hear something, because you all have been watching on Bryan's channel. He had the JJRC Ericus, and I actually left a comment that said Ericus Suckus, because apparently I think Donnie's also gotten one that he had some trouble with. And now Bryan's had some issues with one. They're supposed to have some GPS modules in it. Do we know of any other toy drones that have issues with them? Maybe, John, that you've heard about?
The SEMA X8 Pro. You guys have seen Donnie's experience with that. Oh my goodness, we're at the point where some of these are not even just they don't work good. They're downright dangerous, and you could see that in Bryan's recent video. I mean, He went to the field and he flew it within the fenced-in baseball field just because he knew that it was going. He knew the thing could have gone crazy, and it did. So we're seeing just really, really low quality junk in the toy realm.
Okay, for a quick, I'm going to suspend things really quick. We're going to do the say hellos really quick. Here we got Manamana FPV in the house. There we go. Glad to have you. Roger from Canadian Drone Hub. Say hello, hello, hello. Lloyd, the grumpy vlogger. Glad to have you. Josh, do you have the keys to Bryan's drone closet? We've noticed as of late you've been gotten a lot of drones that were on Bryan's channel. So it's going to be cool to see that too. It's kind of cool that you all hooked up. By the way, can you run over to Bryan's house really quick and tell him we were going to do a live stream tonight, and can he get on and talk to us?
Yeah, that would be
sweet. So if you don't mind, since you're close. Oh, Cigar Nation Warriors. Oh, Holy Stone. Speaking of Holy Stone, my second grandson got me this last Christmas. I fly it quite often, although I won't tonight because the battery's dead. Oh, Mad Kiwi. Glad to have you in the house. Good to see you. Jody, I do believe, please, I hope I didn't say the wrong name. From Drone Shots, good to see you. Art Code.
Good to see all you guys.
What'd you say, John?
I was saying good to see all you guys. So many people are tagging. I can't even keep up.
Mitch is in the house. Good to see you. And Matthew, good to see you also. Let's see, I'm throwing some other names up. Rick Halber, Drone Life, JD's Flying Canuck, Steve Carpenter. I'm trying to, if I've missed anybody. Hey, wait, Jet's in the house. I'm trying to get all these thrown up here. Oh, Birdman's in the house. Howdy. Okay, now back to, go ahead, John, take over.
I was going to say, chat, give me a thumbs up if this is still not the best classic toy drone.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, that's what the thing about it is, I don't know. Oh, and we just said Dan.
Yeah, it's a clone, but it's
Dan's in the house. But we're talking, yes, the X5C, right?
Right.
Or
well, I got this out of
the Dash 1. I love the Dash 1.
I got this out of my box because I was looking at this the other day and I thought to myself, this doesn't have a ton of features on it. It's just a basic flyer. There's no crazy GPS. There's no altitude hold or anything like that. But it did what it was supposed to do. It was durable. The price was good. And I think that's why it was so popular. And at some point, as I guess some of the parts got cheaper or widely mass produced, they said, hey, let's fill these things with as many features as we possibly can. And who cares if they work or they don't work? Let's just put it in there so we could say it has a GPS and a 4K camera, even if it's a 360p just stretched or whatever. At some
everybody
point, it's
who has
like
Brian's phone number, call him now and say, get on the live stream.
Oh, what's going on with my audio? Is my audio messed up? Oh, I don't have my snowball microphone. Oh, I got to get that. One sec.
Okay. Because it was like we were getting some weird pops and cracks and
that's from my laptop.
Crashes.
I didn't have my snowball.
You didn't have a snowball.
Didn't have my snowball. Yep.
It was
the snowball right now.
It wasn't me, Art. It was John blowing stuff up.
Okay. I think I've changed my microphone to snowball, so that will not happen again. There you go. Got the snowball.
That's much better.
Yes, much better.
I didn't know. My laptop does that sometimes. I forgot to hook it up.
Oh, it's all good. We're good.
So where were we? Oh, yeah.
We were saying Greg Pittman's in the house now. And then you were talking about the X5C. And I was talking about how I like the Dash 1. But we're talking about good drones. And those are old drones.
Oh, yeah. Well, in terms of...
like you said, the SEMA X8 Pro, which was supposedly GPS, was horrible. Now this little Phantom, of course, the thing about it is he's had so much trouble with the thing, I've yet to really tell what the video is like in it, or if it was stabilized or anything like that.
Oh, it was a Jello. It had Jello in it. I mean, I've seen video from that thing, which is, I'm sorry. After all these years,
yes,
these drones should have less Jello.
Hello, Proper FPV. Hello, Chris. Hope. Did I miss anybody? We're caught up. Oh, vape them if you got them. Yes, that's the other news of the day. To vape, or this one's going to be bootleg vaping.
Yep.
Bootleg vaping. Hey man, I could get you this really killer battery.
Thank you guys for kicking me in the pants, by the way, with the microphone, because I wouldn't have even noticed.
Oh yes, the chat did that. We're very grateful. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Now, here the whole point of this show was we were talking about how crappy toy drones had gotten, and like, is it the GPS modules? Is it because I got a feeling we're going to get? You were talking. What is it? The Vizio?
The Visuo, yeah.
The Visuo. Okay.
The Visuo.
The Visuo.
Yes.
Do they have a GPS drone?
They do have a GPS drone. I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere here, but not. It must not be in this box. But they do have a GPS one, and it works. But I just don't think the GPS belong on toy drones. I at least toy brushed ones. I think it just invites you to get into trouble.
Well, I've had the issue is where so many people were griping about flying back to China, so this was a way to, although I don't know. Because optical flow is going to be useless at so high unless you put a decent camera in there.
Yeah, I mean, here's the story with the Visuo GPS drone where I got myself into a little bit of trouble. And it was my fault, but I think about how I got into trouble, and I think, well, someone else who's brand new is probably going to get into trouble like this too. The app on it is pretty freaking amazing. I mean, it's got waypoints. You can actually send it to waypoints, and it's really quote unquote pro looking. But at the end of the day, it's a brushed drone. And I sent that thing out, and it got caught into a pocket of wind, and it was draining battery, and I ended up losing it. Thank goodness I found it. But you know, some of this stuff just isn't meant to have a GPS. Somewhere along the way, the manufacturers were like, we need to just cram this stuff with as many features as possible so we could sell it. We can advertise all these features, and who cares if they work or not? Just throw them in there anyway. I think that's really the problem. I'm sure if Bryan was here, he would probably agree that these things just do too much. And I see that Bill is flying that. And it's kind of funny that you got a Cheerson out, because I don't know if anybody's noticed, but Cheerson used to be a really big toy manufacturer. And look for their stuff right now. It's almost gone. Cheerson stuff seems to be gone.
So
that was a good one.
I'm just wondering what classifies it as a toy drone?
Yeah, that's What is it? What is a toy drone? What is a mid-grade? Or hobby? What is it? You know, how do they classify that stuff?
It used to be a lot easier because to get a brushless drone, you had to spend X amount of money, and I guess that used to kind of be the benchmark. Well, if it's brushless, it's not really a toy. If it's brushless, it's not really a toy. And in some ways, I don't know if that's true anymore. I mean, we get the Bugs 3, right? And that's like $60. That's like toy price, but you know, is it a toy compared to some of the technology that we have now? Yeah, sure. At the very least, if it's a brushed drone, then to me it's toy grade. At the very least, if it's brushed.
So would you consider a tiny whoop a toy?
Yeah, a tiny whoop is a toy to me. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, tiny whoop is a brushed tiny whoop is a toy. Yeah, sure.
See, some of those things are expensive though. They really are.
Yeah. I think the brushed ones aren't. Well, it depends on the brushed one that you buy. But generally, I would consider that to be a toy. I mean, it's the line between toy and not has kind of been blurred here a little bit.
I think to me, like I'm actually all FPV now. I think they're all just more. They're all toys, but some are just more expensive, like a lot more expensive than the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're listening, Nemo will test a Xeno Pro if you'll send him one.
I will.
He will do a review on it and be quite thorough and do the firmware upgrades and everything.
I will do everything. Thank you, Bill.
Birdman makes a really good point. Birdman 316. He said the X21, the Bryan Toys X21 was the last good GPS from Bryan. And yeah, it's interesting that you bring them up because I remember when we were buying Bryan Toys GPS drones, and yeah, in the beginning they had some quality control issues, but overall for the time they were pretty good for $99. Now they're putting stuff like the JJRC Fart Air Kiss out, and it's more expensive, and it's somehow worse. We've somehow gone backward, and I just don't get it.
So isn't the Bryan, isn't that that's silverware, isn't it? Is that the same thing as
I don't know what software it runs on the flight controller, but it obviously uses the Bryan protocol for the controller. So who knows? Maybe it did run that on the FC. I don't really know.
Because some of that, like we were talking earlier, that was a big development in the tiny whoop thing. And now they're coming out with a brushless one. So
That was a good one. Difference between men and boys is the cost of their toys.
That has been around for a while. We've had some people coming in, and I'm trying to throw the names up because we haven't called them out. Cardoso, Mad Kiwi, of course, I called you out earlier. I just wanted to get everybody's name. Night Train FPV, glad to have you in the house, Mike. Good to see you. Glad to have all the people in the house. We're talking about toy drones and about how, okay, here's my thing. I've noticed that, okay, you all were talking about Cheerson stuff. Like this little drone here, I fly it a lot on the show, and I love it because of the optical flow. It basically holds position fantastic. And if you see them out there, and they started out, I got like a bunch of them for like $6 and $8 because they were closing them out. And now you look everywhere and you're trying to find them, and they're like $50, $60, $80 now for one of these. So what I'm afraid is they're thinking, okay, DJI is not going to be able to import stuff. All these other people that are getting Chinese parts are not going to be able to import stuff. So we're going to make bank off of these little cheapo Chinese toy drones with little inferior GPS and, whatever, because that's all the people are going to be able to afford this Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the tariffs have the potential to make already bad toy grade drones even worse.
Yeah. But
That's just,
I don't want to say that it's because of the tariffs. I don't want it to make it like that way. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that those are going to be more, I don't know.
XJet is in here. Bruce. Welcome. He says all drones should be banned before they bring down an airliner.
Well, if you go dive an airport, yeah.
Yeah,
probably.
But that kind of brings up another point about some of these toys.
If all drones were banned, what about those old people that drones found when they were using like the thermal vision and stuff? That would be, if we banned all drones, then you couldn't have police drones in the air too. But the whole point is
I wish
it can be beneficial. Anything can be beneficial until it's abused. And the abuse of anything like that is up to the individual, not the whole.
What's scary about some of these really low end toy grade crap drones that are coming out, like the Airkiss, right? I know people aren't supposed to be flying this stuff in neighborhoods or whatever, but they are. Could you imagine if someone had flown the Airkiss in their backyard or something like that, and that happened? I mean, because people they'll do it. But Bryan knew it could have a problem, so he was out in the baseball field. He actually took it and destroyed it because he didn't want anybody to get it. He didn't want anyone to even, he would send it to somebody or whatever. He didn't just consider it to be an unsafe piece of junk.
Well, yeah, that's
like Jet was talking about. But
you see, like Jet here, they've realized that it's going to be a niche that they can tap into, because nobody's going to want to pay $2,000 for, a DJI drone that was all the way down to what the Pro was down to as little as $1,200, like 8 months ago, and now it's all the way back up to like $1,800.
Yeah.
And I mean, Zoom, you could buy the Mavic 2 Zoom at some places on sales. I was seeing for $9.99. So I mean, and now look what you're paying, and I'm like, wow. And the smart controller was ridiculously priced before, and now it's $1,000. It's $1,000 now, and I'm like, I'll pass. Forget that. And that's why all these if they put they're gonna say 4K and 2-axis gimbal with GPS for $235, and they might have $15 worth of parts in it.
Yeah, I mean, at what point are they just cramming these things with features that just don't even really work correctly? Like, it just ends up creating worse drones. It ends up creating drones that people buy it and they don't get it. That no, it's not going to work well, or it's just going to have problems, and it's going to lead to even more accidents, I think. I mean, how much could you do with a SEMA X5C, right? I mean, not too much, because it was pretty limited.
Yeah. I don't know though. I worry about a situation where they're going to be taking advantage of people because they want to try the drones and stuff out. Because, excuse me, I still think the interest is there. I think the intrigue is there, but I don't know.
Yeah, one thing also that gets me about so many toy drones is I can't stand it when they put the Wi-Fi FPV on the same frequency as the control. Like, I wish that would just stop. Again, that's another thing that all it does is create flyaways. It creates control lag. I don't know how they haven't learned to stop doing that.
See, here's the thing, though. Bryan didn't do that kamikaze park fence flight on purpose. The drone did
No, he didn't.
Himself, man. He didn't do that on purpose.
I wonder if Bryan forgot to take off his tinfoil hat.
Well, I think somebody said something about that earlier, maybe. Bryan. That's what everybody
Hey,
thinks.
XJet made a really good comment. The toy drones are getting more expensive because they know the sub 250 gram market is big now that registration is a thing. Yeah, that's true. And in countries like Canada, sub 250 grams actually makes a huge difference in terms of the law.
Yes, it does.
So just so we're clear, in the United States, that everything is supposed to be registered. Is that correct?
Yeah, but we've been over this before. Is the weight limit still there?
Yeah.
So this is my understanding. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. If you're under sub 250 grams, you don't need to register with the FAA, but you're still subject to following the rules for hobby UAVs. So the only thing being under 250 grams allows you to escape is the registration. You know, technically, the way it is right now, you shouldn't be flying a tiny whoop without notifying the airport is my understanding of it while they work this out. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, right? But
and we'll be straight up with you, Mike. We don't know what happened to Bryan. I talked to Bryan a couple times this week. I even texted him. He was like, sure, everything's great. And then I texted him about an hour ago or messaged him on Facebook with the link about an hour ago. And I even texted him and said, hey, I sent you the link on Facebook. Josh from Parks and Tech Drones and Tech has Parks and Tech anyway, has also messaged him. So we aren't sure where Bryan is. Hopefully everything's okay, because we do realize that Bryan vapes. And we all know that in the news today, there has been issues with vaping. So we're hoping Bryan is okay. And please, as you've heard us discuss many times tonight, we've been talking about the JJRC Aircus, which is supposedly a 1080p. Is it a 2-axis gimbal? Is it 2 or just a 1-axis?
Well, here before we move on here, Steve Carpenter was saying that what I said was spot on, and he's pretty good with all that stuff. And XJet had said, yep, that's right. But in Canada, there is no prescriptive regulation for sub 250 grams. Okay, so that's good to know.
Why? Are we going to go fly in Canada?
And Cigar Nation Words are saying that sub 250 still must use LAA and C. Yeah, so thank you, regulators. We have to use LAA and C to fly this in our backyard if we're
in regulated airspace. Wow.
Yeah, right. I got to notify if we want to fly this.
But here's the thing: has anybody tried to use Lance when you're flying a toy drone, or what they consider a toy drone? Like I tried multiple times to get clearance for the Xeno. Okay, so when you go and try to apply, it will say, okay, who's the manufacturer? You type in Hubsan, and it'll say, okay. And it gives you a choice of drones. Xeno's not one of them. You get this. You can do a 501S or 501SS. And I'm like, what? This is so old. I thought this was an updated system. So, yeah, it's not even there. So I was like, okay, it cool if I? Okay, here's the thing, and here's a question for the chat. Can I use a 501s to semi-represent the Xeno since they don't have that choice available? Can I still use that clearance for that period in time since their weights are approximately the same, but I don't have the ability to pick Xeno from the Lance system? What is it? Everybody's like, huh?
I was reading the comment by XJet saying, you never know when a 747 is just going to come ripping through your garden, huh? But you know, Bill, what you're talking about, I've gotten clearance multiple times now, and I'm not forced to select a model or anything. Like you.
Okay, what are you using? What are you using?
I'm still using Air Map, even though I'm aware that Air Map has some.
Oh no! I think that we kind of figured out that might have been a biased opinion on that anyway.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
what it is okay. That's what I was using was Air Map. And
yeah, well, I went all the way through, and I didn't have to select a model. It just.
You didn't have to. What about a brand? You didn't have to do a brand.
Yeah, I didn't have to put a brand or nothing. Nope, no brand.
Okay, what about? So you put a weight in, an approximate weight?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I believe it asked me something like that, and that was it. I didn't have to put any model.
I'm
actually gonna run through the process right now. I want to just see something real quick, just to do some verification here. Let me go up to the local park here.
Thanks, Jet, for dropping by. Glad to see you.
Yeah.
The input. We're here every Wednesday talking about something. We love feeding off the chat because that was what we had planned. I've got I had heard back from the gentleman in Canada. I was going to have a guy from Canada who has actually gone through the process of getting his license and stuff. So hopefully I can get him on soon. We have plans for next week with John. Didn't you reach out to Michael Barrington?
Mike Barrington, yeah, from Accelerated Heights. Yep, he's supposed to be coming on.
Although we've got kind of we're still in negotiations. If you're out there, lady, hopefully you might be taking a gander at us tonight. We would really love to have you on. The guys are excited if we can get you in here. We'd really like to bend your ear about some stuff. So if you're out there, you know who you are. If you do it next week, we'd love to have you on. We do a dual show because it's you. And if you could come on Wednesday, maybe we'll do a dual show because I'm sure Mike might be in awe if we can get you to come on too. So anyway, we have a secret guest that we're in negotiations with getting to come on. We're hoping, fingers crossed. So I might put a pie in my face if we can't get her on. But yes, it's a lady FPV pilot, a very cool lady FPV pilot.
The lady FPV pilot.
Yeah, because she's like the female version of Steel, in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, that's who we're trying to get on.
So real quick, this is what you're talking about, right? Something like this where you have to, where it says to pick a maker model or whatever, it says none on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even pick anything there.
That's what I get.
Yeah, it's not actually a required field. You'll get clearance even without that there. The only important thing here is this bottom bit where you put in the weight.
I get what you're
saying. And honestly, the only reason they ask this is because of this. No, it's fine. It makes sense. You're trying to give them all the information, but that's the only reason they're asking for the
house. Good to see you. Ice Hats, good in the house. Good to see you. What is this? Queen of 3. Oh, shh! Stop it, Mike. Mike, look at what? Did you see this? What's he doing? Look what he said. Ooh, he knows what we're talking about already.
He does know. Birdman knows.
Yeah, he already knows what we're talking about. She would be killer to have on. So everybody that knows,
everybody's here.
What we need. Here's what we need. Everybody here that would like to see Zoe FPV on here talking with us about drones and about unicorn frames and about everything in general, then please go to her channel and say that we were talking about how excited we would be to have her on here, because you all know she just got picked up by Rotor Riot. She's like one of the pilots. She's going to be flying with like Bardwell and other people. He's baking very loud so he doesn't hear me. So anyway, but yes, it would be very cool. So go over to her channel on any of her videos and say, hey, why don't you come on Drone Therapy over on Coast to Coast Drones? Because, you know, we'd all have a good time and we could ask her a lot of questions. Oh, yeah, so Crickets and the three. I don't know them well enough. I know the names. I'm getting to know the names on the FPV side. And the guys are kind of feeding me more of that because, and in my personal opinion, and like a lot of people think, the future of drones are going to be these style drones. They're going to be FPV style drones with, you know, and I've said this before, I think it's going to be the build your own kind of thing. I think the days of the big manufacturers and the control issues that they have over these drones on what's on the internals, each person individually is going to want to have a drone that they know they're the only ones in control of it. Just like that's the reason people fly FPV, because they know they put every chip in it. They selected the motor. They selected the all-in-ones, you know, everything. You know, and the programming that goes into it is all their own. So I got a feeling that more and more, that's where we're going to end up getting. So,
well, yeah, even if you buy a bind and fly off the shelf, you can, as long as it's not full of, you know, proprietary parts, you can count on at least being able to buy an equivalent motor or an equivalent flight control board and replacing it. Like, I can get this back in business. I just need another flight controller, maybe a pyro drone.
Thank you very much, Lloyd, for not taking a nap this week. And I didn't mean to cut you off, John, but he was getting ready to leave. So,
okay, no problem.
Yeah. So, and look, hey, glad to see you. What you doing?
RD's reviews.
Hey, are you anywhere near a webcam, Ryan? Because you got some toys you can talk to us about.
I know, and we don't have Bryan to share his experience with the terrible toy drones out there right now.
Well, that's what I said. Is anywhere near a webcam? If you're anywhere near a webcam, you're going to get a link in a minute, because Bryan went AOL on us. Maybe he had a big dinner that came up or something. We hope you're okay, Bryan. We want to tell everybody.
Dinner at Applebee's.
Yes, Bryan. Tonight. Thought we had coordinated, but we might have passed each other by. Wait! I see. Is Frank in the house, and I just missed him? I see somebody.
Bryan can come on and talk about the crappy toy drones out there.
I see Frank now. Frank is one of the fine creators of 3D, and I don't know how well would you explain it, because it's just really cool stuff. So if you get a chance, go over to Spider Hank's channel and you'll get an idea of what all he does. And what is it? What is it? Filmer, Frank? You ever heard of Filmer? Frank is Mr. Filmer. How would you explain Filmer? Frank's not here. And if we might get Frank on sometimes, but Frank would possibly be just one of these. It would be like, hi, I'm here this week to speak about Filmer. Because I was ribbing on him, because he was on one of our previous guests, Film Sensei was on. He was on his live stream last week, and I was giving Frank a hard time because I was like, "Well, where are you, Frank?" And I was like, he was just a voice in the background, and you know his icon and stuff. It was kind of funny, but anyway. So I've jabbered long enough. And what else are we going to talk about? Ryan, you never did tell me if you're anywhere near a camera. Yes, Filmer. Okay, now what is Filmer? I know it's something really, really cool, and it's probably beyond, at this point, without severe studying, my old brain. I know it's super, super cool. Oh, no, you're not shy. You're prettier than any of us.
Well, you know what? I was thinking.
What?
Oh, never mind.
You were thinking what? About a toy drone?
I was thinking as something to talk about the whole toy drones thing, and.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
he said he's watching the baby. She's all over him. I got you now.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
So I guess we're still spinning our wheels, but we're doing good.
Yeah, I was thinking Nemo could probably jump in on this. So
just got to prolong it for 15 minutes, and then he'll tell us, no, the baby's on the other arm.
Okay.
I'm just like, but he said he's going to try in 15.
So going back to the whole toy drones thing, so we know that the toys are not getting so good.
Get this message out there, Chris Hope. Check your email if you have time. The keys to your new DeLorean are in your email. Okay, next.
John.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was trying to bounce off you for this one. So, like, since we know the toys are not so great, but what we have seen is we've seen stuff like the Mobula 7, which is kind of like a toy, but not. You know, we've got the Tiny Hawk Ready to Fly kit. And I think I was saying earlier that stuff like that to me is way worth what you get way more than say blowing your money on these crappy toys these days. So Nemo, what do you think about that subject? And maybe you could talk about like what you're looking at, because you were looking at the new beta FPV board, right? In silverware. That's something I kind of want to discuss. That's all for the toyish realm.
There's an interesting point of view.
Does it make any sense?
Earlier, you were showing the SEMA, you were showing the X5, and that's how most of us, it's kind of like, you know, when your dad's like, well, how you going to learn how to drive? Oh, just go get it in four-wheel drive, stick it in low range. That was how I learned how to drive. That and a farm tractor. You know, it was one of them things.
It's like I was saying earlier, the Bayang protocol is silverware, and there's a NFE was not fast enough. He developed like settings and stuff, and you can go and change just like Betaflight. You can change your PIDs, you can change rates. They have modes, everything. And there's the little I think it's an eSheen Santa Whoop, and people will buy those and they'll flash like a fork of silverware to them, and those things fly amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing, like better than an actual tiny whoop. So yeah, the whole, I've been waiting for a brushless silverware board for a long time. I wouldn't mind trying it on an actual 5-inch, to be honest.
Yeah, the Santa Whoop. I had that one. That was one of my favorites.
I love that line though. We need that
an acro machine, right?
One needs to put that on a T-shirt. Toy drones are a gateway drone.
And yeah, silverware.
They're a gateway.
Go ahead.
There's a little like a STM flasher thing that you hook up to it. You have to wire it up, and you can flash it to like this. I guess it's a fork of the Bayang protocol, and it's silverware. And the Alien Whoop Zero was actually, that was the first silverware quad I flew, or it's like a tiny whoop rather, but it was brushed. So, and it flew amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, like stuff like that is really interesting. And now we've got, like I was saying, Beta FPVs coming out with that 2S silverware board for brushless, and that looks pretty cool to me. And really, I guess what I'm trying to say is, with that kind of thing coming out, it really begs the question of, well, should someone get something like that, or should someone burn their money on the fart air kiss? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're going to get way more value on the FPV side of things. Yeah. It's just going a little bit higher above toy grade.
I would tend to.
I don't know if I'm putting this right.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I definitely think that on the FPV side, you know, you can get a better quality. For a little bit more, you get a better quality, like, you know, like the Acro-Bee. I mean, for about $100 you can get that, and it's probably one of the best tiny whoops out there.
Okay, Art's getting ready.
And especially with the toys going up in price. Oh, sorry.
Art's getting ready to go to bed, and Max there just came in and said, hey to everybody, see, Art's getting ready to hit the bed, so everybody tell Art good night. Furball Kim saying hi to back there. We're still chatting really good and everything. You all continue. I'm just looking around. I'm gonna get me another energy drink.
Yeah, I was saying, like, you know how XJet was saying earlier that the toy grade market is going up in price, in part because of the whole 250 gram thing. Well, you know, when you're faced between spending $99 on what is basically an overpriced toy, or, you know, 99 to 130 on, say, an FPV kit, that used to be, that FPV kit's a little expensive. Well, with the lines getting closer and closer to each other, it's like you're better off buying the more hobby grade / toyish kit than just going full toy.
Right.
You know, it's not like you can't fly, say, a tiny line of sight too. I mean, and learn to fly on that. You can. You absolutely can.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And wasn't that what Jackie was? They were using, like, were they using brush quads or were they using brushless?
Jackie was saying that they were using a lot of brushed, like the whoops and stuff.
Yeah. And I tell you, man, they're fun. They really are. They're fun to fly, especially in the house. I mean, you can rip. It's cool to think, you know, that you're flying everything. You know, you're doing that, getting the FPV experience, and you're inside your house and you're flying around your couch, and you're like, wow, this is really, really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking the exact same thing. So, you know, why waste time with these toys when we have better toys, things that you wouldn't really consider a toy before, but now, well, the prices really taking another look.
Yes, that's our theory too. We think that you're going to see people and the hobby in general steer away from the big camera drone platforms because everybody was talking earlier, and you've heard on various channels, there's simply no DJI drones out there. There's a lot of difficulty with the arrival of a lot of new drones coming from overseas to here. As a matter of fact, I think hopefully, wasn't it you said something earlier about a Xeno that got lost at sea and returned home or something, John?
Yeah, something like that.
It found its way to the Bermuda Triangle and came back out in China. So, I don't know. We don't know why or where or the understanding of it. But, of course, my tiny hop freestyle that John likes to rib me about, both publicly and privately, it's still in limbo because I don't know where it's at. So I might find out here in another week or two it got returned or something. Who knows?
Or Cigar Nation Warriors said FPV is going to explode. What do you guys think about that?
I am broadcasting live from my garage. Yes.
Yeah, and he also asked that.
that could be your opening thing. Live from his garage, John Cuppi. And then we have the vape hit and smoke.
Cigar Nation Warriors actually just, well, not just recently, but not like, I think last month or so, he picked up the little Eachine FPV system. And I just thought, how cool is that? Like, for around $70 or so, you've got a whole little FPV setup, and compared to some of those toys, it's just like, I can see stuff like that getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, because once you tell someone, oh, put these goggles on and fly, that's just so much better than, well, let me get out this phone and do this Wi-Fi FPV BS. I'm just so tired of Wi-Fi FPV. Maybe I'm just jaded. I can't stand it. The lag.
I've never heard of it. Do FPV drones have optical flow?
Generally, no.
But he's got a good point, though. Okay, the big. Okay, here's the thing that I've been told, and the guy that gave me the 5-inch said that he didn't put acro. He didn't put anything but acro on the drone when he sent it to me, because he said that was the only way to learn. was just to zip it up into the air and get your green, your wings, and that was how you're going to do it. But I also see Jet's point of view of more stabilized flight and kind of taking baby steps. But I have really figured out, especially in the FPV field, that you just got to find what's good for you. And once you figure it out, then you'll go with it, and you'll get stuck into that rut and you'll go with it. Right now, it hasn't bit me fully because I haven't found the best way for me personally to learn. So that's what's cool about it, is I know that I can. I just haven't found the way that's right for me to learn yet. So, maybe I'll go watch some more Bardwell videos, or, because I really would like to get to flying good. Right?
That's exactly how I learned. I watched Bardwell's he's got a series on he uses FPV Freerider, the sim. I don't recommend that sim, but it helped me learn how to fly. And actually the first time I went and tried acro, I went up and down the field without crashing. And the first time I tried FPV before I got on the sim, it was terrible. I could not figure out. I'm like, how are people flying this with no self-leveling or anything on it? And I quickly ended up, figuring it out. But it takes time. It takes time and practice. But once you get it, it's a much better experience flying FPV and acro. That's what it's made for, and it's great.
Okay, and here's something that just to prove, yes, the show's name is Drone Therapy, but we do talk about a little bit of everything. You've heard me mention Spider Hank. You've heard me talk about Film Sensei and some of the other people that we've hooked up with. We're trying to do something, or it would be really cool if we could get the video friends and creative friends on that side to work with some of the drone pilots to create like an updated version of the drone wars that Rotor Riot did back. We could even do some cool lightsaber scenes and stuff, and maybe like rotoscope some people in and out of scenes and stuff. It would be really cool to do something like that. And plus everybody's wanting to do their intros, and they're wanting to learn how to edit and color grade. And I think they just all go hand in hand. So that's why we don't just talk about drones. We talk about tech and video and photography. And John got back before I could do it because Nemo and I were talking earlier about how nice John's garage door opener is.
Yes, it looks amazing.
It's a very. Did you lean your head over? Yes. See, we talk about other things, not just that, but tech too. See, John has a very nice. Is that like the garage door opener 10,000 XD?
Does that have optical flow on it?
Yes, optical flow.
I'll tell you what. If any of you guys are looking for an electric mower, I love that little mower back there, that 80 volt. Especially since we all love batteries and whatnot. That 80 volt Cobalt, man, that's an awesome mower.
How long can you mow? Oh God! Don't die, Nemo! Stop vaping!
Don't die, man!
Don't die!
Bryan may already be dead, and we don't even know.
You can do it. Put the vape down. Put the vape down. It's okay. You can live without it. We're here for you, man. Come on.
So how long can you mow on that? So my property is like 0.3 acres, and I can mow it and not even use half of the battery. I could literally only use a quarter of the battery. You could probably mow an entire acre of property with one battery on that thing.
Oh, very cool.
It's actually pretty amazing.
Okay, and they're talking more about FPV, so let's throw up. We got a good comment from Max Air 420. Starting in self-leveling, LOS, FPV. Yeah, it is a huge step in going into acro. But some people can just have acro only, throw it up in the air and learn. I've seen people do that, literally. To me, I'm too much of a wimp. I'm not going to deny it. I don't know everything. I hope I don't convey that I know everything, because I don't. I'm learning every day. Okay.
I never got a chance to learn like that.
Yeah. To make the transition to something that requires active flying, optical flow could be like training wheels for beginners. Yes, true. but it's kind of like angle mode, right? It's it's the same thing as having a toy drone with I would think, wouldn't you think? I don't know. It's like it would, because when you have angle mode, it's basically like you have the FPV drone is like an X5C, pretty much, right? Wouldn't you say? When it's in angle mode, it's an X5C.
Yeah, I mean, I basically.
Because it's well. What do you think, Nemo? Have you ever flown a toy drone? Have you ever flown a toy drone?
Well, evidently I have, since I guess my brushed Acro Bee is
Here we go. We're gonna classify things again. Classify.
Okay. Watch out with the classifications before we start talk about the toothpick class.
Yeah.
Some people might get upset.
The toothpick. A dead tree.
Honestly, the first drone I got was a Phantom 3 Standard. And then I got into FPV, and that's it.
This is what's so trippy, man. This is what's so trippy. Wait, come here.
Cigar Nation Warriors loves to crash his Ishin Small Pepper. It just keeps on flying.
Oh, yeah. I gave my son mine, and he's had it for like a year and a half and still beating it to death.
Yeah, those things are hurtful.
This is a collector's item now, man. This is a collector's item.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a Phantom 4 Pro.
Oh.
It's a collector's item now, man.
You could have had two of those, just saying.
One day you'll be able to donate it to a museum.
No, I could have had two, but you didn't tell me. Did you? Did you?
I told everybody.
Hey, well, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyway, I thought it was cool. It was a collector's item. I'd like to upgrade to a version 2.0, but I don't know if that would happen or not. But this thing still takes phenomenal pictures. I mean, for considering
Capaholic just came in.
It's like almost 2 years old, right? It's like
something like that, yeah.
So, and it's still one of the best drones out there.
You need a Phantom 1 beside that.
I think, as a matter of fact, I think Bryan has a Phantom 1, doesn't he? Boy, Bryan, it would be really cool if you was here. We really miss you, buddy. We hope everything's okay. Oh, you're cool, Ryan. We're just chilling.
I'm looking at another toy. The Snaptane SP600, and man, I
is that part of like the gift box set that you all got? Like Ryan's got like 5 different drones sent out to everybody.
Yes, and what's funny is Bryan didn't have any trouble with it. Bryan didn't have any trouble with this thing, but I did. It just when I took it outside, it went ape poop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it went crazy, and I don't know why.
Steve Carpenter's about to be driving home, so we're going to wish you well, sir, and we will speak to you as you drive home. Be careful.
Absolutely. And also, something else happened to it too. Look at this.
Did you?
Okay,
wait,
see this little camera in the front here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I went to adjust the angle of it, which you can. Right. But I ended up accidentally touching the lens. Well, the lens isn't glued in place, so I pushed it in. So now the picture from it basically is like a recessed camera.
No, man. They're planning to make a Snaptane Pro, and you can put filters in.
Well, I believe they discontinued this, so I was like, what's going on with this? And the new one is that Snaptane SP650. So I was just like, well, it's discontinued. I'm just not going to bother with it.
Oh, here you go. How about
new
this?
One
How much do you think a used Phantom 3 in good shape is worth?
Depends on which model.
So you're just saying a Phantom 3 Standard, a Phantom 3 Pro?
Yeah,
an Advanced?
Matters.
Yeah, matters a lot.
David had a bad motor on that one too.
Standard.
It was like a 1080, right? Standard did 1080?
No, it would do 2.7K.
Okay.
I don't remember the frame rate though, but it would do 2.7K. A good one used?
Well, Ryan just threw it up 250 for a used. What do you think? 250? I was going to say 200 to 250 is what you see, especially really and truthfully, you look on Facebook Marketplace, you really want to kind of a general, because that's going to give you an idea of what everybody's going to be asking.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it hadn't been for Facebook Marketplace, I'd have never gotten that killer radio for as cheap as I did.
That's true. That was a good score. The QX7.
You know what's funny? You know what I got? You know what I got on Facebook Marketplace? I got an Inductrix.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep. Back in the day, I bought one. I went all the way.
That's classic.
Yeah, I went like 30 minutes out of my way to pick it up.
Another thing too about that Capaholic is you would need to see the flight records. You'd like to see how many charges, how many cycles those batteries have had. You know, you can. That's all still on the standard, right? He can get all that from flight logs and stuff, can he? Onboard information. You have all that about the cycles for the batteries.
I couldn't tell you.
Scar Nation Warriors asks, does anyone have a Holy Stone HS200? Holy Stone is actually a good toy brand.
Yeah.
I think I got 350 for my Phantom 3 standard.
Well, see, that's what it was, but it really depends on, what it's been through, too. I mean, like they were saying, what model it is. Depends on how many flights it's had. It depends on, what kind of battery care was involved. Was it somebody that didn't know to begin with, like me, who would come home, cool their batteries down, and instantly recharge them right then? Or was it somebody that knew you only charged them right before you were going out to fly so that the extended life of the battery was better? I don't know.
And if you get one, I don't know if you guys can see that. There's they stress crack. There it is. You see that right there?
Those were big problems with those back then.
Yep,
stress
there
cracking.
was. And I never crashed it. I hand catched it all the time. I didn't fly it hard at all. I babied the hell out of this thing. So
you didn't have to. It was a defect. Something in the plastic, something in the way it was just built. It was just prone to stress cracks. Huge problem with the Phantom 3 series.
So when I sold mine, I had to buy a shell for the guy, and I gave it to him because I'm a good guy.
Oh, there we go. So I picked up that's not too bad. That's a good deal, actually. An up until for $50. That is a good deal.
Yeah, that is a good deal.
That's a cool deal. Dustin does stuff like that, doesn't he? But didn't he just recently upgrade to like 5G and was testing it in the Disco the Wing? Parrot Disco,
something like that.
In the Parrot Disco the Wing? Jet is the
something
Parrot
like that, yeah.
All right, Cigar Nation Warrior. Enjoy the paperwork.
Yeah. Drop a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, George. All right, Ryan, I'm going to be there in a second.
He actually meant that he was going to take a toy drone.
Huh?
No, I made a terrible joke.
What are you talking about, man? All right, you should be armed.
Are you flying drones?
Oh, Mikey B's got one here. What do you think of a Phantom 4 standard factory sealed? Now, you talk about a collector's item. Steel factory sealed. That's something right there.
I mean, you want to talk about a collector's item?
Oh, now that he's got the original.
Yeah.
The original.
The one-legged original.
I was trying to put some legs on it because...
Well, I'm sure they probably still make them.
I've been looking for them. I can't find them.
What, you talking about that one? The original?
Yeah. Because they had some...
Uh-oh, it's that time. Anytime now.
The phone calls?
Anytime now.
They had these legs on here, and
Ryan, you need to use a Chrome browser for that link.
they're not good at all. And I tried to put
I really want to know if you could put an external receiver on that board. That would be so freaking awesome.
Okay, so our discussion is the downward spiral of toy drones.
Of the toy market.
Ultimate evolution of FPV drones. Look
Oh shit! The leg just fell off.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
These legs, man, they always do this on some of these drones, right? They're too cheap to give you screws, right? Because there's no
There it is.
Instead of giving you a place to screw the damn legs in, they just make them so you put them in, and they never stay on. They come off so easily. It's just ridiculous when they do that.
As we said, we were talking about the downward spiral of toy drones, and we couldn't get Bryan in tonight. We've miscommunicated somewhere in there. And we've got Ryan in, who has tested many toy drones. And what is your theory or opinion? Do you think that toy drones have gone down over the past year to 6 months, or do you think they've gotten better?
I think they've just kind of hit a wall. I mean, everything's
literally or metaphorically.
Yeah, well, both. I think there's a lack of ingenuity taking place, but I think there's also just it's everything's Wi-Fi FPV. There's just nothing. It's all the same. Right? It's not what it's getting. I mean, if someone like myself and John that flies all the time, it really gets boring because it's the same old. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're definitely not getting better. If anything, they probably have taken a step down in quality. So.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be a time where we would get a new toy grade and it would be like, oh wow, let's see how this is going to work. And now it's like, well, I hope this is going to work.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they put so many features in them. It's like, they cram these things with so many features. Most of them are half baked. They don't work. I mean, you hope for the best sometimes when you open the box.
There's stuff that's getting rushed out too. That's not that the Chinese toys. I'm trying to adjust my camera here if I can. Not that the stuff had very good quality control anyway, but some of the stuff's getting shipped out and it's not even being tested. I don't know how the JGRC Feehoot was ever released. I can't remember what model number it is now.
I forgot about the Feehoot. That was terrible.
That's a GPS drone too, and it's just utter garbage. And yeah, there's a few. There's a big channel out that's trying to tell me it's good, but everybody else I've talked to it's been utter garbage.
Well, you know what? It goes back to the simple thing where the more complicated anything is, the greater chance for failure. I mean, it's just a fact. The more components, the more working software, and everything else in something, the greater chance for failure. And like you were saying, this is all low-end stuff. It never really had that good quality control to begin with.
Yep.
But at least what they did was limited. Now we've got GPS on these things. We've got compasses. We've got all this crazy crap.
Yep.
But we've got no better quality control. If anything, it's worse than it was before. They're not able to check all this stuff effectively. They're filling it with things that they can't check well enough before they ship this stuff out.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. Some of the better drones I've been getting just been coming from Amazon, but they're just rebranded stuff. So not always though. Let me see.
I like the light in the background there.
Hey, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the chat. You can see Mark Rogers, Tater Rogers came in. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. And I'm not trying to do this. And if Dan or Gage is watching this, this is an issue, partner. It really sucks when we have to cover up our guest's face with the chat that we highlight. And I've tried playing with various screen configurations. And as you can see, it always seems to happen. I guess, see, this really bites. So I'm highlighted when I would, we need to be able to manipulate each one of these. So I could put like Ryan over here, or I could put John over here, or I could put Nemo over here. But this thing where I've got to like smash, in order to have us all on here, where I've got to like cover up the guest's face, it needs to be like really super, super opaque, I guess.
Absolutely.
I don't like that. And I can see why it would irritate Ethan. I felt bad about doing it too. They need to do something about this because we usually always run a 4 to a 6-man panel. So, Gage or Dan, if you're out there at StreamYard, yes, I still love StreamYard. We're hoping for more and more advances in this great software for the paid version, so it's not just a watermark. But I love using it. Glad to have everybody in here. This is StreamYard. I can do up to, we can have 6 people live in the paid version and 10 people total in the studio, I guess. Can you all hear, something I was going to ask you earlier. Could you hear me talking, Gary, when you were waiting in the green room?
Yeah. Yes, I could. Could you hear me talking?
No, I couldn't hear you at all. So that's something I was curious about. So we've been talking about toy drones, and we brought Ryan in. Again, we're sorry that Bryan from True Drone Reviews wasn't here tonight. We really wanted to bring him in to talk to us about the JJRC Ericus Suckus. But he was unable to attend tonight. We hope everything is okay, and we hope Ryan is okay. So please check out his channel and check out the Ericus series that we are talking about. And we are glad that Ryan came to join us. Something else, John. What about that little snap tang throw and go? Were you the only one that had trouble with that one, and that was it?
Yeah, I was the only one that I think that had trouble with that one. And they sent a replacement, and that was cool. But you can always get a dud. It's always a possibility. But otherwise, that one was okay. That was the most exciting one I've tried in a while because it was actually something different. You throw the drone to start it. I've not seen anything like that. So that was
moving pictures. Glad to see you also, sir. Glad to have you in the house. We're talking about toy drones and how we kind of think they've gone downhill. Well, you were talking about, was it Visuo? What about, now, something I'm curious about, is Snaptane a rebrand company or are they original?
Bryan can answer that. Ryan can answer that.
I think they're mostly rebrand, don't you, John? I mean, there's a few I don't recognize. It's possible that they have a few that are made for them, but a lot of them are rebrands. Sometimes kind of obscure models, like David over at Perth West Oz RC. He had one that I think he found a Snaptane. It was a rebrand of a drone he picked up at Aldi's, the grocery store down there, at Aldi's food chain. And it was just a rebrand of one drone he found, and they just rebrand various drones mostly, but they're usually pretty good, but they've had some duds lately. But
there's certainly a lot of rebrands.
What is your theory on what we were talking about earlier, Ryan, about how they're going to take advantage of the toy market being cheaper now and really flood the market with a lot of crappy drones?
Well, I don't know. They already kind of are. There's just so many. Look at it. Just go on Amazon. Look at the drones. There's just an unreal amount of rebranded crap drones that are being sold at 2 to 3 times what they're worth.
Yeah. XJet was saying that. Bruce from over at the XJet channel was earlier saying, I don't know if you caught this, Ryan. He came on. He was saying that he thinks that the toys are going up in price because a lot of them are under 250 grams, and that's an attractive it's an attractive number to people. I mean, even if you live here in the United States, granted your rules are technically the same, but when you see that you don't have to register if you're under 250 grams, people like that. People like to see that, and he thinks that the toy people are taking advantage of that. They're taking advantage of that hardcore. I don't know. I mean, it's just a theory there.
I don't know. I haven't put any thought into that. It's certainly possible. I didn't think about it either until he brought it up. I think a lot of people who are getting toys don't even know about the registration because they're just buying a toy, or they see it at Walmart, grocery store, or they see it on Amazon, and they don't even know they need to register. In fact, I forget to even mention it. I used to do it. Then when it was overturned, I stopped, and I never even gone back to even worrying about it anymore. I figured it's a responsibility to do it. I mean, and I mostly cater to the U.S. and in the USA. You don't need to register, but the rules are the same. So, I mean, It's just a matter. Do you want to spend $5 and not have the hassle of putting it on the drone? So, but in some countries like Canada and places I heard it's a huge advantage if you've got under that 250 grams.
Well, see, and you just made an excellent point too, Ryan. Like you're going to have grandmothers and grandfathers in Walmart and Sears and whatnot, or in the mall, because every Christmas time the mall's got those two little sections in the middle row where there's like 18 million Chinese drones on the little, and they're going to say, oh, well, Bobby is probably really going to like one of those. Let's go ahead and pick one up, and not have any clue about having to register it or any of the laws or rules. Because they're going to think, oh, we just picked it up in the mall. It's not going to be anything like that.
Most people don't. And a drone that if you go to the store and you end up finding, I don't know, I mean, a decent sized toy drone, it's probably going to exceed that weight limit with the battery in it. And you're technically supposed to register that. Anything it doesn't have to be an X8C style. I mean, I bet that Snaptain S5C that I reviewed last fall weighs more than 250. It doesn't take much to weigh over 250. Almost everything I got here weighs over 250. I mean, this weighs over 250. I mean, most of the stuff I got. So, I don't think this.
Yeah, it really doesn't take a lot to weigh over 250. No, I understand that.
John today.
Ooh, yeah.
John sent me this.
Very cool. Yeah. I want to see what you do with it too. Something that, like Dan was saying, he was talking about Holy Stone has a good rep in the toy business. And yes, they do, but I think Holy Stone's a little bit overpriced.
I
like their stuff, but I think it's a little bit too expensive.
I think Holy Stone, though, I think their stuff, John may know, but their stuff may actually be original. I don't think their stuff's rebranded. I'll tell you, Donnie, big drone flyers, Donnie gets a lot of Holy Stone, and if you watch DJ Soul Force, DJ gets a lot of Holy Stone stuff. He had one he did a quick review right yesterday. It's a little thin, I don't know, folds out. I didn't really get to see. I don't know if he got to fly it, so I don't know how good it is. But I've never had anything from Holy Stone. They never contacted me.
Is it Little Caesars, John?
Hell no, it's Pizza Hut.
It looks good.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say that. What the hell?
It's a bacon. It's a bacon.
To share with the class, you can't have it.
Hey, my sister's. I've been communicating with her a lot more since there's a lot going on within the family, and I told her that I had to do a show tonight, and she sent me a very interesting question that I think is very fitting. She said, "It's 9/11. Could drones have served a beneficial purpose in the aftermath of the World Trade Center's collapse?" I think that's a very
good question.
Yeah, very good question.
You could use it for search and rescue.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think they could have.
They would have had to have had thermal on them, though, if you think about it, because none of that dust settled or anything for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have some serious sensors on.
And all the smoke from the fire, it would have been difficult to see. That's a good point, Bill.
So
this might sound ridiculous, but one of the first thoughts that my mom had when she first saw it was, is there any nuclear component to any of this? Just there were a lot of people that were thinking that, and
what happened?
it would be cool to someone could have technically flown a drone in there with a dosimeter on it and figured that out pretty quickly. But then again, there's so many people around there. I don't really know if that would apply, but basically you get close to it.
I want to do a couple of things real quick, and I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm going to throw this up real quick. Hey, it's just under his chin when his head's all the way up. But still, we're going to have to say something to him about that. This don't work. See, like what? Hey, now, John, you can eat pizza. Go ahead. Quick, eat pizza.
I know. I'm making everyone want pizza. Pizza orders are going up. Bill, you should get sponsored by Pizza Hut.
Talking about Mermaid Clover, talking about filming above national parks and Florida Springs is illegal without written permit submitted in advance. I never knew you could fly over a national park. Now, in the state of Washington, you can apply with a written note. I think you have to pay like $50. You give them the date. Basically, a park ranger walks out with you and just kind of sits there and chills while you fly. And then that's it. They just watch what you're doing. They observe your footage. They make sure you're following all the proper rules and stuff, and you get to go fly. But the bad thing is if it's raining that day, that's your window. So, that's the thing about that. Another quick shout out to the chat. I can see DeMarco. We haven't seen DeMarco in a long time. Glad to have you in the house. The Zeno is completely upgraded except for the latest camera software. I didn't do that one. Other than that, I used the Cuppi method of upgrading. It was flawless. I loved every minute of it. Worked perfectly for me. And Ryan, we heard that you had ordered a Zeno, but it returned itself to China.
Yeah, that's what I understand. I sort of cheated. I had John order it through my affiliate link, and I asked my rep, and she said it was returned to China. She didn't have a reason why, and I don't know. I know Dan Nye's got his close by, but my track.
Ryan had his canceled.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with it. So, does it still show like it's an active order, John? It doesn't say
it. Still does. Yep, it still does.
We'll see.
It says it's been shipped, but there's no tracking for the United States tracking number. It's just flat. And if any of you guys have,
maybe they'll reship it. I'm not that big of. I'm not like angry, but they need to either ship out another one and make sure it gets here, or just refund the money.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So I get to deal with Banggood support now. Yay!
I have to deal with it for me, which is kind of crappy.
Did you hear this?
What else to do?
Hey, John. DeMarco moved on us, so now we don't know where he lives. So I was gonna send him a T-shirt and say thank you because he had to pick that little bit extra up and everything. But now here he is. He's already moved on. So we don't know where he lives now. He's probably moved in down the street. I just don't know it.
Yeah. So I guess that label on my Xeno box isn't going to be accurate anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was like, man.
I still have the box though. This is an awesome box. I mean, it's got this is a box from DeMarco and Ready Set Drone. So how could I not keep it?
Yeah.
And what were you showing us, Ron?
Oh, John's gonna hopefully get this too. This is the T8F radio link. It's a little controller.
Is it Bluetooth or something else?
No, this is an actual 2.4 gigahertz. This is like like what's the Tyrannus version of the Free Sky, John?
It's like an X-Lite. It's Radio Link's version of the X-Lite, but it's $50, and they made it that cheap by not having any screen on it. There's no screen on it, so
they sent me a couple of their. I've never had anything from Radio Link. They sent me a couple of their
Nemo Radio Link is claiming that TX with either of those receivers should be able to get 2 kilometers. That's what they're claiming, and they actually told us to try a range test if we could. I don't know. I'm skeptical.
Using this little receiver was more for drones. This is a receiver. I think it usually comes. What did I set that? It usually comes with this bigger one. I'm gonna be putting this in an RC car first because that'll be easier. But this one they sent to me for drones, and hoping John will get his here in maybe in early October from them, and John will have
if it works
drones to do this with than I do at the moment.
if it works out for $50, that's a pretty crazy good controller, actually.
I mean,
if it really all works
nice.
out.
No, there's no screen. John and I both thought it was flashed with OpenTX, but it's not. So the configuration software is pretty generic. There's a 1S LiPo built in here, so you plug it into the micro USB and charge it. It feels nice. It'll probably work okay. I don't know about that 2-kilometer range, but for $50,
yeah, Nemo's laughing because he knows that's probably BS.
I think 1 kilometer is probably possible, maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe. But 2, I don't buy 2. Everybody exaggerates on stuff like this.
I think didn't they do like a range test on Rotor Riot, and they had a radio link. I think they had a radio.
The first day I talked,
they did.
They
did, and the radio link did amazing, didn't it, Nemo? I was going to ask you about that because, yeah, they did, and the radio link was awesome. Not that radio, but a different one.
Yeah,
they're really high end model because they were going to send that to me. Like, oh, that'd be costly to have, but they wanted to send this one as new. She did the first day I talked to her. I just commented on a post on her Facebook, and she contacted me about reviewing something. And she said they've been working with Rotor Riot, which shocked me. I mean, it's good.
Nemo, they also claim that radio that Ryan's holding has 5 milliseconds on their 8 for the 8 channels.
Yeah,
they're claiming it has the fastest of any radio around. That's what they're claiming. They're claiming, making some pretty bold claims with this radio.
Yeah.
So, do they have their own protocol, or?
I think so. Don't
they do.
Really?
They've been around for a while, and I've heard that they're actually pretty good. I just feel like they sort of have not gotten their name out there. Like, I know some people have used them in the years past, but I feel like they're probably playing second fiddle to Free Sky, Spectrum, Futaba. I mean, I think they got to be dead last. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Aside from the cheap stuff, the cheap car controllers and stuff. But I mean, you have the controllers that are used on drones. I mean, heck, I'm sure Turnigy, I'm sure Hobby King sells more of their stuff. Their Turnigy stuff.
Yeah, Radio Link is the radio that you would get with some RTF kits and just throw it away later on.
That's really weird. You don't hear much about Turnigy anymore.
No, I got a massive Turnigy down here. Look at that. The 9XR Pro.
Wow.
That thing is a beast. It is good. And I thought it was, compared to my original CX20 controller, it was, but it's not as good as my Tyrannus.
All right.
It's just so bulky, so heavy, and it uses that. It uses that ER Sky. Doesn't use OpenTX. It uses that goofy ER Sky or whatever. Let's see if it'll turn on. See if I can. Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Oh wow.
ER
Old
Sky.
school, cool, man.
I got a DJ. I got several modules. I think I got the DJT.
Bill, what are you doing? No one can hear you
now.
Bill out.
I was trying to scratch my nose, man, and not scare anybody.
I scratch my nose all the time, too much.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want anything to fly and hit the camera and stick to it. That'd really look weird if something was like stuck right there.
I'll go grab some more toys.
Cool.
Might go grab some more pizza.
I'm actually interested in Futaba. Like, I've thought about, I don't know much about their radios, but
I'll tell you what, Nemo, I don't know how old you are, but back when I was first into RC, when it was much more basic, I mean, Futaba was...
He's all right.
That's all there was. There was Futaba and, Airtronics or something like that. Like, you had Futaba for everything. We used Futaba. I mean, a Futaba controller, might be, smaller than this, but you use this kind of a controller on a car.
Right.
They even had pistol grips. And that's all we use. So I still have a few old school Futabas probably in the back room somewhere. But I love Futaba. But yeah, their stuff is expensive for a reason. I don't know anybody with a Futaba anymore.
Yeah,
the real hardcore enthusiasts still use them. Probably, I bet they sell a lot of controllers with planes, fixed wing.
yeah, but I think let me see who flies Futaba. Oh, Captain Vanover flies Futaba, and also Schizo. They both fly Futaba. So I'm like, maybe there's something there because they're like great pilots.
I'm sure they are. The Futaba stuff, I'm sure it's Japanese. It's good stuff. It's just you don't see it as much. I know Tower Hobbies always sold Futaba stuff. That's where I'd get some. I'm sure they still do. I don't know much about it. Like I said, you don't see it around. And it's not cheap.
Yeah.
A pistol grip, a 2-channel or 3-channel car controller is probably reasonable, but not their high end stuff is going to be expensive. And you think the fixed wings people, they're a hardcore older school crowd. I bet they really use a lot of it there. I'm just guessing though. Yeah, I'd like to go see if I've got an old Futaba laying around here. I probably have an old Futaba pistol grip somewhere.
Oh, okay. So did they start out making like for cars and stuff?
I'm sure Futaba started out with airplanes, like Ohio.
We used a pistol grip, and the first thing that popped in my head was either a boat or a car.
Yeah, let me see if I got that one back. I don't know if I still got one around here or not.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to be here for this conversation.
I actually went on their website, and I was looking at one that Captain Vanover flies, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty expensive.
I normally drink 2 energy drinks per show. Some strange reason tonight, I decided to go for a third. So I just opened it there. So I might play video games after this. Oh wow,
that's old school.
I
got this one used in like 1997 from a hobby shop. This is the old 2-channel Magnum Sport.
Oh my goodness, that's old.
It's got takes 8 AA's. This uses the crystal chips.
Oh, the crystal things. Oh, man,
so what is 75.790 megahertz? That's what it says.
Magnum, when you just have to have extra grip. Now with crystal chips.
The antenna.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh man.
Then you
whip it out, man.
And you went out to even the cars, you're supposed to put a flag on there because if you had the same frequency, you throw another crystal chip in to switch frequencies, the cross interfere. I never had that problem. We just driving cars, but
you had the plan system when you had the antenna up.
And right there, I don't know if it'll show up or not. Right there, it says "Made in Japan."
Yeah,
that's made in Japan, not just. I don't know if that's still the case. They may be designed in Japan and made in China now. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's what. Okay, some of you all will probably be. Well, some of you might be too young to know this, but I know Nico and Ryan, when he hears this, you can see Mikey B said that's a fishing pole antenna. And the first thing that popped into my head was Popeil's Pocket Fisherman. So I don't know if you all remember those or not. Remember all like the as seen on TV stuff, and there was the Popeil Pocket Fisherman.
Yeah.
And the lures and everything was in the handle, and you could just flip it out and go fishing.
I can't stop thinking of Ron Popeil and the spray on hair. I could use some of that.
Yep. Let's see. Popeil.
I got this little guy I messed with earlier. It's one of those little it's just a little.
Oh, yeah, the little saucer.
It's a little infrared, and it works pretty well. Sometimes it gets too many times, it senses stuff and hits the wall, and it cuts its motors. But it works pretty good. You just guide it around, and it avoids the walls. The baby will. I might have to put some music to it because the baby's flipping out over it so much that it's just going to be a really annoying video if I don't. But that was an easy review. I don't know how well it'll turn out because I had to film it inside. And you can't really fly that outdoors. It'll just probably fly away.
Oh, the The top of the line Futaba at Tower Hobbies is $2,499.
Yeah, I believe it. Can you imagine spending that much money? I'd go buy an Inspire for that price.
Yeah, right.
And since I've already gone down memory lane, I'm going to do this. So.
That's crazy.
Can you? That was the Ronco Pocket Fisherman, the Popeil Pocket Fisherman. You can see that
out of stock.
Yeah, probably since 1979. I don't think it was.
I guess that guy's still alive.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah,
because he was selling stuff back when it was black and white TVs. He was selling stuff
exactly.
back in the 60s.
Yeah, nowadays them kids be like, what's TVs with tubes? Do what? Black and white. Okay. I mean, that's what I think's so funny now. You actually get on software, for editing, like whether it be video software or whether it be photography software, and now there's a filter to actually make it black and white. And then when I was growing up, there was software to add color to everything.
Yeah.
Oh man,
kind of funny, man.
Here's some other Amcrest stuff I got in. Don't know. This looks like some sort of a Hubson type clone of some sort. I don't know. It's another little toy, but it's got Wi-Fi, so it could be hit and miss. Got this. I don't know what this model number is on this one.
These aren't part of the downward spiral, are they?
I don't know. Bryan said he's flown a couple of them, and these look like almost identical, but they're different.
They do.
Skylight.
Bryan said a couple of these were Hubson clones. They flew really good.
Interesting.
Jay Drone told me that one of these was an E-Sheen rebrand or something. It has a pretty good camera and flies good. So, yeah, these might be okay just to fly around. It's not something that I'm gonna be super excited about, but it's something. And this is they sent me this bigger one. I don't know what this beast is.
Oh boy,
A6V.
That looks like it could be.
This looks
that
like
one scares me.
Yeah, this one gives me. This one looks like it could be one that might be problems. I don't know, just a gut feeling. The design, the look.
Jet Martin wants to know if it has waypoints. Even if it does, that would be pretty cringe.
I love that. No, he was making a joke, man. I think he was making.
I don't think this has waypoints because this isn't GPS.
I think he was just making a joke. I don't.
Okay.
Well,
all the toy ones are GPS all do, but I never test it because most of the time you don't even get the map to load to be able to do it.
Yeah, right. And even when you do, good luck.
Memory.
It's okay in this photo right here, but sometimes these weird looking ones like this can just be kind of sloppy flyers. I obviously, I don't think they're attached. I don't plan on having those big bulky. Take these prop guards off. This might not be so bad. I'm not gonna. I'm sure they're not installed. I'm not going to use those.
Was it like
they try to do too much.
Yeah. It says here 20-minute flight time. Interesting. I seriously doubt that.
What? How many megapixels?
Frames per second. So that
what kind of camera?
720p at 30.
Oh, okay.
At least it's 30. So I mean that's actually good that they went with 30 because you're seeing more and more 1080p cameras come across on these toys, but then you may not get a decent frame rate, and then it looks horrible.
Or 4K. They'll say, "Oh, 4K."
Or 4K.
Yeah. When they're 4K pictures, they're 2K cameras, and then they might do 24 frames per second, and it's choppy, or it records the Wi-Fi feed, not to an SD card. Now that little. The Snaptane SP650 that I'm going to do here that people reviewed today, Donnie reviewed that and Bryan. That one does 1080p at 25, and it's actually pretty decent. It's a little jello, but the camera is pretty good. I mean, if someone just wants a drone to throw up in the air, a kid to get some video, I mean, it's a better camera than a lot of them, but it's too high.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the drone might be $99 or something. It's just way too much money. Because you can go out and you can get a GPS camera drone for around that price. That's probably going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of our whole downward spiral of toy drones thing. It's either, well, the good toy drones, it seems like they're too expensive, and the bad ones, they're just expensive and they're bad. You know, there's just very few good toy drones out there that are truly worth buying these days.
And that's
Jet
why
Martin just confirmed it was a joke.
Yeah, I figured it probably was. This is the SP650. This one's it's smaller than the SP600 by a lot, but it's decent.
Yeah. That's SP600, which has no legs because remember they fell off. They're on the ground.
Did you see these two? They said, yeah, it's got waypoints. Mikey B says, yeah, 2 waypoints, start and finish. Then Gary jumps in real quick, says, take off and crash.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Toilet bowl GPS. That's a great feature.
That's what we needed Bryan for here, man. Did you see how horrible that thing was toilet bowling? I mean, it was terrible. And then he just kind of whipped it around, was like, and it went right into the fence.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's so hard to get all those features to work correctly on a toy quad, especially when the quality control is so low, so they can keep the price high, and it creates a recipe for disaster. The toilet bowling, the crappy video. I mean, it just they should just go back to the days where it was simple, or do one thing well, and do that one thing. Well, that's it. Do one thing and do it well. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, did you see what he said? I like this. He said 4K at 2 megapixels at 5 frames per second.
You know what though? That's funny he brings that up. What is with some of the frame rates on these toys too? Like I've checked these videos, and some of them they have weird frame rates, like 14 FPS. Like, what kind of frame rate is that? And what about that MJX one, Ryan? What was it called? The one that had like a 20 FPS frame rate or something like that. What was that one?
Okay, when this one popped up, right? I gotta highlight this one. I'm
just gonna hit out the big Bryan.
Maybe
that thing's a piece of junk. That Ericus.
Well, we all hope that Bryan is okay. We hope that nothing bad happened. Josh was here with us earlier. He may have had to bail too. He sent him a text. He never heard anything back. Ryan's got more.
Dude, this thing is terrible. Full of jello. It'll just erratically start to go crazy and it'll crash to the ground. It doesn't. I don't even remember. It's just an absolute disaster. But Captain Drone says it's great.
Maybe we should have renamed. Maybe we should have renamed this episode to the Downward Spiral of JJRC
and MJX.
Okay, well, yeah.
This thing is.
No, someone in the chat will know what MJX I was talking about.
I don't know which one you're talking about, John.
I'll find it.
Is it one of those recent models, like a?
Yes, it was one of the recent models. It was one of those.
This thing is a hand.
I'm going to their website right now.
This thing is a disaster.
Okay, I just wanted to give a quick jump over here and let you know Mr. G. Nemo got to go to work tomorrow and build them proper airplanes, so he's going to have to take off. So he wants to say his good evenings real quick, and we'll go ahead and play a little bit longer if y'all are up for it. If not, we'll just go ahead and round it up. What do y'all think? Y'all want to keep going?
I could stay for a few more minutes.
All right, Nemo.
Yeah, we'll stay for a few more minutes.
We're gonna watch another TV show here, so I gotta go in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right,
let me bash the Bugs 4W after he goes.
All right.
I just want to say thanks to everybody. It was nice coming here and hearing a different side that I'm not too familiar with. Sounds pretty cool, and you guys chat on, and I will see you next show.
All right, later, Nemo.
Take care.
Mr. Nemo, and we'll see you next week. Hey, now I can cover up myself. Let's see. Where was it? Now, earlier...
It wasn't that 5W, was it? I mean, I think that one...
It was 4W.
Okay,
it was
4W.
It was MJX Bugs 4W.
I know that David really liked the 5W, but I know it also had one of those had a really goofy frame rate or a goofy slow, like you said.
Yeah, it's the Bugs 4W, which has also been rebranded. I think
The E-Sheen.
What is it? The S. Yeah, there's E-Sheen, SJRC.
Yeah, that's it. Because that was a good flying drone, and David really liked it. But you're right, the video frame rate made it choppy.
It advertises itself as a 2K camera. Okay, 2K.
I think it actually does 2K video too, but it's
2K at 20 FPS.
Yeah, but it's just that speed your eye can detect the shutter effect. It's so slow.
Yeah, and they also advertise gimbal stabilization. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but how can you even say gimbal stabilized single axis? Then it has no symbols. That's not a gimbal.
EIS, they couldn't say that. I don't think it has in the EIS.
I'm looking at the product page right now, though, and it says gimbal stabilization, single axis, 90 degrees.
Yeah.
The very definition of having a gimbal is, well, you guys get it. I don't need to explain it, but like...
You can't get gimbal stabilization on a one-axis camera. That's impossible.
No, it's not a gimbal, then. What...
That's garbage.
There is no stabilization.
One-axis gimbal.
It's stabilized by dampeners. That's it, which is not even stabilization. It's just it tries to remove some vibrations, and that's it. And it doesn't do a very good job of it.
No, it doesn't. I mean,
Jet Martin was saying that all the crappy tech is just being shared amongst the manufacturers. It's true. I mean, you just see how many of these
on that MJX if it had a better frame rate.
Yeah, I know. If it had a better frame rate, if it had a better, the list just goes on.
I guess
MJX, all we wanted was an upgrade to the Bugs 3 Pro with a simple GPS. And last year you gave us this. What have you done?
You know what? I didn't
a proprietary battery that nobody asked for.
I didn't mind mine too much, but I sold it to a guy, and he flew it, and he got caught in a wind current, that he said, and he lost the Bugs 3 Pro and the SJ4000 that was on it.
Oh, that's painful, man. That is painful.
I don't think David's around, but I just want to say what I think about it. I hope that David Grima gets feeling better. David had a kidney stone last night in Australia.
Yep.
I had one about a year ago, I believe. I didn't go to the hospital. I realized what it was, and it went away. But, God, that's the worst pain a person could probably undergo without some sort of a injury. I mean, it's like, they say it's like, women say it's like childbirth pain. So
say some prayers for David, everybody.
And
remember, drink lots of water.
He had to go through 8 care and was there until
8 cups a day.
He probably was there until 5 in the morning Australian time, I think. So yeah, glad to hear he was down to 1 or 2 on the pain scale.
I hope I never get a kidney stone, but it seems likely that everyone's going to experience one at some point in their life.
And it feels like you're getting stabbed in the back, and it's just takes your breath away.
Oh, Steve, did you make it home? I see he actually typed something there. Maybe he made it home finally. Yes, everyone, please check with Bryan if you haven't already, and see that he's okay.
Yeah. Hopefully he's okay. The vape didn't
Usually Bryan will reply back to my comment on his channel. I don't think he ever replied back to my comment on his SP650 today. But he did reply.
Maybe.
He did reply on Facebook, though, because he replied about these Amcrest drones, saying he's already got them, and he had 2 reviews already filmed. So was he supposed to show up, and he just didn't show up, and I isn't responding?
Yep.
Well, here's the thing.
That's not like Bryan. He goes, if you try to send him my messenger,
here's the thing. I sent him a text the other day, asked him to come on. He sent me a text back saying, "Sure, Bill." Sent me a message back here saying, "Sure, Bill." I sent him a message before I went down earlier saying I was going to dinner. and then I would send him the link in 30 minutes, and I never heard anything. Went ahead and proceeded to send the link, and I also texted him, and I didn't hear anything back. So,
yeah, that's not like Bryan.
Yeah, so I hope everything's okay. I hope Brian's okay.
Sometimes he's not real active on Facebook Messenger, but if he's replying back and a half hour later didn't, something had to have come up. Yeah, some emergency.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. Hopefully he's okay.
And
hopefully it's an emergency with work or something.
I put that through. John, I know you saw that. Where's this at? What am I trying to do? I want this one. This is what I hate about. I wish that StreamYard, the share screen, they need a better application, whatnot thing, because I can't share just a regular photo. And I really
you're trying to share that photo you just put in the chat. It's freaking awesome.
Well, see, that's the Xeno picture, and I ran it through AirMagic.
That's great, isn't it?
I ran it through AirMagic. And then finished it off in Lightroom with a little bit of artifact cleanup and stuff like that. But it just really burns me that. Let me try to do it this other way. If I come over here, maybe I can do it that way. Let's try it that way. So,
I wish I could get my Xeno, but I don't know what's going to happen there.
Let's see if this works. There we go. Yeah, see, I ran that through Skylum's AirMagic, which is an AI software program that will kind of look over your photograph, and it uses artificial intelligence to grade it and come out with it. And I think it did a phenomenal job with this one. Like I said, the only thing I did extra was to run it through Lightroom and clean it up just a tiny bit more.
Looks good.
It does. It looks absolutely amazing.
Hey, I've never thought about that. What AI could do in terms of altering photos. AI is going to be crazy. Just on AI running on graphics cards.
Well, here's the thing. They're about to come out with a new software. I've been using it, and Ron Brown's been using it for a while. I do believe Curtis Dart dabbles with it here and there. It's called Luminar. Okay, right now I have Luminar 3. Okay, it has AI sky detection. It has AI, photograph enhancement that you can use, or you can go in and manually do it yourself. And they are about to come out with a new version, which is Luminar 4, which is any day now, probably in the next week to 2 weeks. It will actually have an artificial structure intelligence to it. So not only will it be able to look through and, light and darks and whatnot here and there, but it will also be able to look at textures like mountains and trees or facial features, and also enhance those through AI.
That's interesting. All right, guys. Well, I think I need to go, but it was nice to be able to pop on the show tonight. I'm glad to make it.
We're very glad to get you in here and kind of fill in for Bryan.
Yeah.
We didn't get to have you on where you had such a busy family going on, too.
It's just Wednesday night, too, Bill. That's the only night anymore that's always got something going on. It's always late with their dance class. So I can, in the future, probably pop on like this if you need me to, but it'd probably be kind of a last-minute thing like this.
This was great. This did everything that we needed to do. We were covering this.
Webcam, it's a cheap eBay one, but I already had this set up, and this is better quality than what I had in the past. So
I'm super grateful you came in. I'm glad you came in. We had a blast.
All right,
buddy. Thank you very much for coming in. And hopefully John will be back here in a minute. We can go ahead and close things out.
I'll talk to John, later tonight anyway. All right, see you guys later.
I want to say thanks. Bryan gave me this little guy, and I just thought it was a good time to fly it out.
That's perfectly fine. And as you can see, we've dwindled down. We had a good turnout tonight. We're glad we had everybody here. We really hate that Bryan didn't make it tonight. We think it would have been an entertaining show, definitely of a different variety. But we think we covered the subject very good tonight. We've all talked about how it seems like they're trying to throw a bunch of drones out there that look like higher end drones to get you to go ahead and jump on buying. So what we're saying is maybe look at some of your reviewers, look at them a little closer, and be a little more choosy in what you might purchase. And with that being said, I'm going to throw it over to John for his good evenings while we wind things up. John Cuppi.
All right. Good. It's been awesome being on here with all you guys. We had a great show. Everyone in the chat is freaking awesome. I'm pretty tired right now. I don't know if you guys noticed. So I'm probably gonna be getting to bed soon. And just an awesome stream. Awesome stream. Always happy to be a part.
All right, very cool. Thank you, folks. We're glad to see you here, and join us next week. As far as we know right now, we're hoping that we'll have Michael Barrington for sure next Wednesday, and we're hoping that we may have our mystery guest. Well, not so mystery anymore, but yes, please go over to Zoe's channel. Tell her you'd love to see her over here. Thank you very much. Peace, people.
Peace.
We'll see you next week. Yeah.